Now, I play that intro, especially for Louise, who absolutely despises it.
I like that intro. It's very good, that way.
It gives a bit of pressure.
Yeah, there's no drama in it at all.
Welcome
as well.
Yeah, I like that. Just you can feeling it building up to this fantastic interview. Mark, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Liam. How are you?
I'm all right. This is my last thing of the day, last thing of the week.
Yes, I agree.
You?
Same in my office. Yeah, we're actually back in the office this week in a bit of a soft opening. Obviously, all COVID friendly and socially distanced, etc. But Fridays the office generally is closed, so we do get one or two people popping in, but generally it's just a really quiet day. Hence, being sat here all on my lonesome.
Whereabouts are you based then? Where is your office?
We're in South Yorkshire. We're in Penistone.
Which
I suppose Barnsley is probably the nearest major town. Cannon Hall, nearest major attraction, I suppose, that's on the TV quite a lot at the moment. So I actually live in Cawthorne, which is near Cannon Hall as well. So 10-minute drive to work, brilliant. Not too much commuting.
Love it. Well, if you haven't seen one of these before, this is Let's Talk About Networking, where we get to chat with a member of typically a BNI, because that's our school almost, and we just learn a little bit more about some of our members. So we have Mark with us today. So Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself, because tell us what you do, and I suppose why you do it. I suppose let's start with that.
Okay. Well, I'm an independent financial advisor. We specialise in retirement planning. Independent being the key word in there. We're not tied to any one particular provider of products, so we can research the whole of the marketplace and find the best product that suits our clients' needs. I've been running the company. We're QED Financial Associates. The company was formed in 2011, but I've been in financial services since God were a lad, but 1991 when I first went into financial services. So I worked for the Prudential for 9 years, and then self-employed as a financial advisor, and then we are where we are now, which is the 7 of us on the team, a couple of directors, myself and Wayne Harper, and we've been in Penistone. It's our 7-year anniversary, but QED's 10-year anniversary this December. So things are all good. Lots of good clients, lots of great clients. Clients tend to start off as a client, being the client word, but end up with your friends, to be fair. I suppose it's, if we're talking about BNI, it's a little bit about like your BNI members and your BNI colleagues. You start off as a member of a group, but to be fair, I've got some really good friends. I'm not going to name them here because they'll be embarrassed, you see.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Don't want that.
No. But you know who you are.
Very good. And I suppose why you an IFA and not a deep sea diver or a painter or a doctor or anything like that? What has driven you to this point?
It's been quite a strange journey from where I started when I left college. I actually went into the building industry. Believe it or not, I'm a fully trained carpenter and joiner. Bizarrely, yeah. But in the late 80s, early 90s, at the time my father-in-law worked for the Prudential, and you're probably going to laugh at this, Liam, but I think his words to me. Bear in mind, this is in the 90s, when there's Allied Dunbar and Prudential, and it's a bit of a salesy kind of thing going on. He says, "You can talk a lot, Mark. You'll do well in the insurance industry, you man." So I started working for the Pru in 1991. There was a bout of redundancies in 2000, end of 99, 2000. And fortunately, at the time, I was made redundant. I know it sounds bad, that's like doesn't it? But that then forced a couple of us to set up our own company, being independent financial advisors. And for me, what I love about the job is, is seeing clients when they're in our age demographic is probably 55 to 75. That's our main client age. And you see them going up to retirement, and you're advising them on what they need to be doing and what they can and can't do in retirement. But then you see clients, and I've got a cracking example. I mean, they call me the son that they never had. And I've known them for 20 odd years, and they've got a good amount of money, but they'll never spend it. And I'm saying to them, look, you need to be spending some of this money.
Mm.
And it's really funny because when the son's there, he's going, no, don't tell him to do that. So just seeing people when they've achieved what they wanted to achieve financially, and they've got that security, you know, and I know it sounds a bit of a slobbery word, but financial security in retirement is paramount.
Mm.
We don't deal with clients who are just on state pension, which probably sounds a bit, I don't know, presumptuous, but because we need people who've got disposable income, disposable capital, I suppose. But we see clients every year, happy clients, good returns. It's been a bit of a traumatic 14 months, I suppose. With the pandemic in the end of March last year, that had a massive impact on the financial markets. You know, 30-40% drops in clients' portfolios, which at the time was pretty stressful, really. But our advice at the time was, look, you know, you've got to be patient. We're all invested as a company in these portfolios. You've got to be patient. And clients did, and they've recovered fantastically well. So we cannot moan about it at all.
I mean, we'll certainly come on to kind of your networking journey in a bit, and so with this question, I'm more leaning towards the business. But you will have seen, of course, 2008, which was a rocky ride. How do the two compare? First question, and then second of all, what were your feelings? You know, last March when we had that announcement and we said, right, that's it. You know, everyone's staying at home. The markets had the issue. What were your feelings around that time?
2006, 7, 8 was quite a different story. In a nutshell, there wasn't any money around.
Yeah.
So the markets, there was nothing to be invested into, so to speak. 2020, it was really down to market sentiment, and market sentiment is how the markets feel about what's going on in the economy. You know, and there's lots of things that can affect that, and it can be exchange rates, it can be unemployment figures, interest rates, inflation rates. There's lots, you know, you could go on forever with economic data that impacts it. How did I feel in 2000? We were quite worried. If I'm honest. You know, I spoke to a B&I contact who was a travel agent, and I said, there's two professions that you wouldn't want to be in at the end of March 2020: travel agent and financial advice, because both were kind of, on the face of it, going down the pan. Holidays were being cancelled front, right, left, and centre, so to speak, and the markets and clients' portfolios, our portfolios, our money was falling off a cliff face. It's really funny when you look back with hindsight, because you kind of, at the time, we were worried, but then a few weeks later, the market stopped falling, and then a few weeks later, they started rising. And when you look at some of the indices around the globe, the FTSE's recovered back to where it was last February in terms of its value. You look at someone like the NASDAQ, which is the Tesla American techie index, that's done 68% in 12 months.
Incredible.
So that's taken the hit of the dip, 20-30%, and pulled back, and it's still flying high. So there's still some really good investments to be had out there. UK market is still recovering well. Our portfolios have done phenomenally well.
Good.
Over 1, 3, 5 years, you know. So we're in a really strong position now. Interest rates are low, which is great for people borrowing money, great for people, mortgage lenders. Not so good for banks, because the interest rates are really low, and so they're going to charge really low rates on the mortgage rates. So for us, it's brilliant, because clients are actually looking at what they've got in the bank or the building society and going, this is not working. Inflation is actually ripping away at my money, because it's losing its spending power. So what else can we do? So, you know, touch wood, we're getting a lot of inquiries, a lot of people wanting to invest. A lot of people, it's brought to the forefront retirement planning.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. To be fair with Liam, I could talk. I'm quite passionate about our business.
Yeah. I can
And
see
I
that.
talk all day about it, and I don't want to cheese your viewers off. I've got that boring financial advisor on. He's just talking about pensions.
Well, I'm hoping you know Andrew Toothill.
Yes, when I mentioned some of the colleagues and friends from BNI who are good friends, Andrew's not one of them.
Well, Mark, considering you're a financial advisor, how come you haven't retired despite being well into your 60s?
Oh, you see that? He's just been a little bit. That's what good friends do, don't they?
Yeah,
you go out and you're very, very sarcastic with each other, but you know that he doesn't mean it. He should be saying, "You're in your late 40s, Mark. Come on, you need to be just doing a bit more planning. You might be able to retire when you're 55."
Well, that leads us very kindly on, because I hear that you've been around networking since before the invention of the wheel. So it's been a while.
I've got enough with Andrew Toothill.
Yeah. So take us back then, really, really far back. What was kind of your networking journey right at the start? What was the first introduction? What was that like?
It started in the first meeting was in the George Hotel, which is in Huddersfield, which is kind of a rundown wreck. They keep saying they're going to refurbish it, but they haven't done. And the area director was called Tracy Barlow.
Okay.
Not the Tracy Barlow out of Coronation Street at the time, but Tracy Barlow. I think there was myself and my business partner went, John Gummerson, and there was probably about 8 of us sat around the table. And the invite came through the local Huddersfield Examiner.
All right, yeah.
Do you fancy coming and do a bit of networking? And we expanded from there. That was in the January. We launched in, I think it was the July, and there was probably 20 of us around the table there. And it worked really well. The face-to-face, there's always that, the farming of relationships is a big word in BNI. And I've been in financial services for a long, long time, and that is the only way that you can build trust. It's the know-like trust, which is exactly the same in BNI as it is in financial services. Yeah. But certainly for our company anyway. We run our company as a family. So we treat clients as they are generally good friends. So yeah, it's been a long journey. I mean, I've done most of the roles.
Have you?
It was chapter director back then, and secretary, treasurer, and membership coordinator, education coordinator, lead visitor host, you name it. Myself and Andrew, as a matter of fact, between us, I think I'd done 12 months, and Andrew was a printer.
Yes,
the best printers in Honley in Huddersfield apparently. And Andrew joined about 12, 18 months after the group had started. So I've known Andrew for 19 years. I've been on his 40th. I've been on his 50th. I've been on his 60th. We're saving up for his 70th next year. So he'll know what I'm talking about.
He says he's been in BNI for 18 years. The best thing he's ever done in BNI is invest his money with Mark and his team, all 30 quid of it.
Yeah.
Good answer. So you've done every role. Why did you put yourself forward, or why did you accept them roles if you were asked? Then what's because for the people watching this who got no idea what president is and what this is, they don't know. But I mean, within BNI, there are roles to help the chapters, the groups, as you want to call them, grow. So why did you get involved on that side of it then, Mark?
I think it was to add, there's kind of two sides to it. You want to help the group out, and volunteering for roles is a fantastic way of helping the group out. And your motivation that you can add into those roles helps the group totally. I suppose the second thing really is raising your visibility and credibility within the room. You tend to, in certain aspects, you can be the go-to person. We've got lots of members in BNI Terriers that have got lots of experience in different businesses, trades, professions, and all those experiences can be brought to BNI and run it as a company so that it's successful. And obviously most BNIs get their ups and downs, but if you've got a good, strong leadership team, then we deal with any issues and resolve any issues and any challenges moving forward, and then it's all all positive.
I love that. I love that. So, I mean, because of course, networking is about building relationships, and there are ups and there are downs. What have you found to be the challenges, I suppose? Have you found a challenge with networking? Maybe it's about the amount of time that sometimes people may say it takes. But and how have you overcome them challenges? What's been your self-talk almost?
I think if certainly as on the leadership team, there is more time involved. So your normal member goes to the meeting. Ours is on a Wednesday morning. You spend a couple of hours there, do a one-to-one, something like that afterwards, and then most people are back at work. Perhaps spend your BNI hour, in searching for visitors, looking for referrals, which you should have your BNI ears on all the time, I suppose. So I think for me, it's the positiveness of the meeting. That weekly motivational push. And in terms of inputting the time, then BNI is over 20 years has been my best client.
Yeah.
I've got, there's people come and go in BNI, and we all know that. The attrition rate is there. And one of my best clients, I met him probably in the first few months of BNI, and he's still a good client and friend. So that's 18, 19 years later. So I feel that the time that I input is always very well spent, because it's rewarding in terms of financially. It's rewarding. I know what we generate as a company from not just the people sat around the table, but clients sat around the table, or on the screen as it is now. We all say sat around the table, don't we?
Yeah, of course.
Screen, yeah. But the legacy clients that have been left with us, that have been and come through the doors at BNI, but then they've gone and they're still QED clients, which is fantastic news for us. It shows that we're giving the service that we should be giving.
Brilliant. Please just expand a little bit more on the support element of a group, because people come down to networking and they join for the business because they want to grow their business, but they stay for so much more then. So just expand on maybe an example of how that support's worked for you, and maybe even link it to the last 12 months where you've not been able to see people face to face.
I think that's a really good time frame, that, Liam. The weekly meeting that we would go to face was always a bit of a motivational hit, a motivational injection, because they're all self-employed, like-minded people. Generally, I know we have some employed people, but generally, they're running their own company. So, and I think in terms of for ourselves, it's not just me. There's six other people here. So for somebody who's just working on their own out of the back bedroom on Zoom, it must be really, really challenging.
Yeah.
And I think the support that all the members have given each other, even if it's just through the WhatsApp group. I know we have two WhatsApp groups. We have a proper one, and then we have a banter one. So, even just putting a smile on somebody's face, posting a picture. But in terms of more professional support, I think because of the type of members we've got, you can always ring somebody up. So John Burnett, solicitor, I know if I've got a legal issue, I can ring him up and I will use Ice and Harrison's.
Yeah.
Would it be my son's conveyancing or dispute resolution or chasing a debt, that kind of thing? Andrew for printing, he's done our printing for years and years and years. Max Lambert in our group is the house doctor. Rung him up the other week. My son's buying a house. He's been out and surveyed it over the Easter weekend, sent him a report back with an estimate within a couple of days. And that kind of go to trades and go to professions where people are often a little bit scared about approaching, let's say the accountant or solicitor. You think, no, it's going to cost me a fortune, this. But within BNI, you've got that, let's help each other. And we know we're going to get some business out of it. But if I've got to give up 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, I say to our members, look, if you've got friends, family relations, they're mentioning retirement planning, mentioning financial advice, then they can have a Zoom meeting, an hour and a half, however long it takes. And even if it's just free, no obligation, generic advice, we've got to be very careful in terms of not crossing an advice line with that person. We're quite happy to do that. So I think because all the members have got a similar mindset, then that works really well in the Terriers.
Love that. Well, let's have a shout out to the Terriers then. I mean, I know you don't want to name names, but you've done some fantastic business over the past 12 months. I hear only good things about terriers, to be fair.
Well, nearly £2 million worth of business on a rolling 12-month period, which has been like that for a long, long time, to be fair, Liam. It's floated around that amount above and below for well, probably 15 years, something like that, which is a great testimony to the trust that members have with each other.
It's I like it. There's a lot of good things said about the camaraderie. Can you, off the top of your head, remember where you've got business in that group? You've got business waiting for other professions that maybe aren't in that room right now. So they may be watching this, and you may be thinking, well, actually, we've got business waiting for them.
Yeah, well, electrician. We need an electrician. Gardener. Florist. Florist is always a brilliant one. I think historically what we found with florists is that they have flowers delivered at the same time they should be in the B&I meeting. But if there's 2 or 3 people there, then one person the delivery. The accountant in the terriers has sadly just left. He's been looking at moving out of the area, so hence
fair enough
leaving the terriers. So we're looking for an accountant, which is often a hotly contested seat. I think is the IFA, accountant, solicitor, insurance broker, printer. Those are generally the probably the most lucrative seats, I suppose. So yeah, those are the kind of categories that we will be looking for. And there is definitely car valeter. You know, every car. You know, I really love washing my car. Not really. So if you've got a car valeter there, you know, you could get monthly contracts with people where they get the full valet once a month. So yeah, there's still plenty of opportunities within terriers for those kind of categories.
Love that. And how have you reflected on this new digital age then for networking?
I like it, and one of the many reasons, is the time-saving element. You know, where I live, I'm kind of 25 minutes, half an hour, 30 minutes from the venue when we're doing face-to-face. So although it's been challenging getting used to Zoom, we've had that challenge through our professional business anyway, because we're seeing lots of clients on Zoom, and it's saved us so much time. Time that can be spent elsewhere, and I'm talking about traveling time. You know, that's generally not productive. So for us, the way that we're operating now is so more streamlined. You know, we're doing a lot more electronic signatures through Adobe Fill and Sign, where product providers, as long as we've got the signature, they don't actually need to see it. So if we've got the electronic signature, we're happy with it. I think moving forward, things will kind of become a hybrid of the two. You know, we'll still use Zoom. And I think if you'd have gone 2 years ago and gone, right, next week, ladies and gentlemen, you're all going on Zoom, there'd have been like uproar. You know, there'd have been about 5 people on the Zoom meeting, I think. And the rest of us have still been trying to log on. So yeah, we had teething problems in the beginning, but it works, and it works really well. So for me, and to be honest, Liam, this is only my personal point of view, then if we did a face-to-face is brilliant, because, you know, it's so much better in terms of farming those relationships, because you can go and speak to who you want to do. You're not put in a breakout room where you might go and speak to somebody else who's in a different breakout room. So I suppose that's a little mini kind of issue. But if you had a face-to-face meeting first Wednesday of the month, and then 3 or 4 if it's a 5-week month, Zoom meetings, for me, that'd be absolutely perfect. And then throwing in socials where we can go and have a meal or do some activity. I remember a few years ago it was like a team building activity, and if Andrew was watching this, he'll remember it, and a few of the other members. And we went to herding sheep.
No, okay.
Yeah, and it was the funniest thing you've ever done. It really was the funniest thing you've ever done, because sheep have just got a mind of their own, off over here, off over there. And the lady who was running it was trying to get us to work as a team to kind of corral the sheep in and that. And we got the utmost respect for a farmer and his sheepdog after that, because there were just sheep everywhere. Folk were falling over in the mud and dirt and whatnot. So yeah, that was a memorable team building exercise.
Well, doesn't 25 minutes go past very quickly?
Just Liam, yes, thank you.
No. So tell us, maybe give us a minute on the future of QED. Then tell us what's on the horizon.
We a rosy horizon. You know, we've got lots of client inquiries. We look after in excess of £160 million worth of client funds. So with 700 plus clients. So we know we're doing it right, and we would like to make sure that we continue to do that. And we're just streamlining the processes, putting processes in place that would take away the kind of administrative burden that we have. Just trying to get rid of paperwork, Liam, basically.
Love it.
Moving forward, yeah, we're really, really positive towards B&I, positive towards financial services. Markets are doing well. There's nothing really we can kind of moan or Twitter about, really. So, yeah, happy.
Just keep going, just keep going. If you are watching this and you're thinking, yeah, all right, I'm an accountant, I'm a car valeter, I'm a florist, and a number of other things. Yeah. Absolutely right. And you know what? I might want to have a look at this relationship thing. I quite like people. You have to quite like them. Like people. I want to be involved. I like. Yeah, I like Mark's tone. If you want to have a look at it and you think, I want to build my business, I'm sure you do want to build your business. If you're watching this video, then scan that QR code or put your name in the chat saying, I want more info. Someone will be in touch and they'll get you invited down to Terriers or to another group in your area. With that, Mark, I want to say thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Liam, thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
And we will see you. I'll see you very soon on an event, I would have thought.
Would have thought so. Once we can get back to face-to-face, be nice.
Well, yeah.
Eventually, we'll get there.
Have a good one.